Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Let's hang out.
Let's hang out.
And let's talk about what lessons about.
Let's hang out.
And let's listen to 2 lesbians shout.
Let's hang out.
Let's hang out.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to Les Hang Out, a podcast that's worth at least 5 more points on your gay card.
And we validate at the end of the episode.
I'm your East Coast lesbian, Ellie Brigida.
And I am your West Coast lesbian, Lee Holmes Foster. And before we get started, we have a couple announcements that we wanted to make, starting with a either very big or very small announcement, depending on how you look at it. We have mentioned it on the podcast before, but people seem to also be hearing it for the first time. So we do have a Les Hangout Gaby on the way.
Yes, we do.
So my wife and I will be welcoming a new member of our family in May. So that's exciting. That's
so
news.
Exciting. Oh, we're going to get a little like Les Hangout onesie or something.
Oh my God. Can we do onesies? Yes.
Yeah, we should.
Oh, I just got so much more excited about this baby. Oh my God.
Yeah, besides, like, if it's not in a onesie, like, who cares?
Other exciting announcements that we have before I give birth to a small human. We will both be at Klexicon,
Yes.
which we are so excited about. We are going to be hosting a podcasting panel. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the panel, Ellie?
Yes. So we will be teaching a podcasting panel that will hopefully be a well-rounded how-to of a podcast, how to pick your episodes, a little bit of audio, what kind of equipment to get, how to make a good podcast. So we're excited.
Now that we're pros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are really excited. And we also have Carolyn Berger from the Diking Out podcast joining us, which you guys should for sure check out.
I think that's it for announcements right now. We
Yeah.
might have some more at the end of the episode.
So let's get into the episode.
Let's do it.
This is episode 11, Gade Magnets.
So this episode, we are going to be talking about that unspoken force that exists between all gay people that allows us to find each other, even when we don't know necessarily ourselves that we are gay yet.
Yep.
And I think this is something that a lot of gay people have experienced. I think it seems like it's a pretty common shared experience that we've sort of all run into.
Oh, yeah. You're drawn to these people, but you're not necessarily, like, sexually attracted to all of them, right? It's like,
Yeah.
you just, you feel like there's this thing about them that you connect to. And when you're straight, quote unquote, or let's say when we're pre-gay, I like that. When we're little pre-gays, you know,
When we're
you
pre-queer
recognize
state.
another pre-gay, and you guys
Yeah.
just start hanging out, and you're like, wow, we have so much in common. You don't really realize exactly why it is until later, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the magnet analogy that we're going with, you know, it's something about attraction, but it's not necessarily desire, you know, it's we're talking about this differently than lust or any of that. It's more of like a knowledge, right?
Yes, you acknowledge this similarity in someone else, and you feel comfortable with them. And for me, I feel like it started out pretty young, like maybe 7th or 8th grade were my first
Yeah.
experiences, but it was the most intense in high school when I look back on it, right? So I vividly remember this one girl. Her name was Claire. We're still friends. And I went to summer camp in 10th grade. Okay. And like we were doing these group bonding activities. It was like a ropes course or something. And
Okay.
at one point we get back on the bus, and me and Claire, our eyes met, and I don't know what it was. I can't even remember what the like funny thing that happened was. Something stupid and funny happened. We looked at each other and we just started dying laughing, and then we were inseparable. Like, and it was, I can't describe it. It was like we looked at each other and something in us just knew. The whole time at camp, she had a boyfriend. I was like, I'm straight and I like boys. Like, that boy over there is cute. But like we were holding hands and like sleeping in the same bed, you know? But we were so straight.
This is like the beginning of a queer coming of age movie, just by the way. I think you should pitch this as a film script.
Oh yeah, and it's, if you like followed us throughout our lives too, it'd be really interesting because fast forward, right?
Okay.
We're so straight. I went to visit her my senior year of high school, and we went to go see The Kids Are All Right. Okay? Like, at this point, I think she's straight. I think I'm straight. Okay? But for some reason, we go and we watch The Kids Are All Right. And at the end of the movie, I'm talking to her and I'm like, oh, I'm so mad that like of course, like the more feminine looking one, like not to spoil The Kids Are All Right, but it really struck a nerve for me. Looking back, I'm like, okay, clearly you identified with Julianne Moore and you were like really pissed that she slept with that guy because you were like, of course, like a feminine woman can't be a lesbian, like the society, everything, you know?
Yeah.
So whatever. So I was really angry about it, and I was talking to Claire about it, and she was like, Ellie, I need to talk to you. I was like, okay. And so she came out to me while we were driving back from The Kids Are All Right.
Oh my God.
And
this is a queer coming of age movie.
yes.
Can we get this made?
All right. Any screenwriters in our audience, like, help us out. But yeah, so she came out to me, and I was surprised but not surprised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she said to me, which I will never forget, she said, and I know you're going to college next year. She was a year older than me. She was like, I know you're going to college next year, and I just want you to be open-minded because you remind me a lot of me. No, that legitimately happened.
And because you did come out your freshman year?
No, I came out
college?
my junior year of college.
Junior
so she
year. Oh
told
my
me
God.
this. I was a senior in high school, and she was like trying to ease me into it because she felt that we were gay magnets, you know?
Yeah.
And she was like, I see a lot of myself in you, right? Fast forward to junior year of college, when I came out, she was one of the first people I called.
Well, and was she like, well, it took you fucking long enough.
Yes.
Did you open your damn mind like I asked you to?
Yes, she was like, well, you could have listened to me a long time ago, but I'm
Oh
glad
my
you
God.
finally figured it out. But it is like, when I was straight, quote unquote,
Pre-queer.
pre-gay, when I was pre-gay.
Yeah. Okay.
I used to be like, what the hell is it? All of my friends keep coming out. Like, it just kept happening to me. Every single one of my female friends was like, I'm a lesbian, I'm bi, I'm queer. I was like, what is it? They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, I get it.
Well, and that's kind of what happened to me too. I mean, when I was in kind of end of middle school, beginning of high school, one of my closest group of friends, there were 4 of us. And same thing where you just, you sort of pair up in this way as friends. You end up in this group of friends. It doesn't feel like there's any particular reason for it, right? And you don't know it at the time. I mean, we were really, really, really close friends. I think by the end of high school, some of us had stayed close. Others, we'd sort of drifted apart a little bit. But looking back in hindsight, of that group of the 4 of us, I think 3 of us are now married to women.
Yep.
And the 4th one, I don't know much about past high school, but came from a pretty conservative family, and all I know about her is she used to drink a lot at parties in high school and make out with a lot of girls when she was drunk.
That sounds right.
So I don't know if that says anything definitive, but it is, you look back on these friendships, and you always just sort of feel like, there was something that you didn't know at the time that some part of you knew,
Yes.
Somewhere deep down, that little nugget of gay down there, kind of, nugget of gay hiding inside of you. It knew what was going on. It always knows. And then it is, you run into those situations where, like, my best friend in high school and I came out right around the same time as each other, and you start seeing that trend, and I think seeing that trend more as you talk to more gay people, that they had this experience as well of, oh yeah, I also, looking back, all of my close friends, in those tweenage years, that you gravitate towards each other.
Yeah.
And you don't even know it until later,
No, I think it was, so I was in an all-female a cappella group in high school, and we all got together for like a reunion my senior year of college. So we were all of us were straight.
In high school?
In high school.
Pre-gay.
I'm going to keep saying pre-gay. I love it.
Okay.
But we went to this reunion, and there were about 10 of us there, and 7 out of 10, we were like talking about our girlfriends and like talking about like, oh, like I don't have a girlfriend, but yeah, like I've definitely been like with girls, and like we're like, like a bunch of them went to Smith, and there were a lot of, and we were just, one of them, my really good friend Emily, she moved all the way across the country to be with her girlfriend. They're so cute. But it was just like, this is hilarious. We're all sitting around being like, you gay ass motherfucker.
I feel like all that's happening tonight is I am just hearing movie pitches for a ton of movies that need to be made.
Yeah.
I think the takeaway here is there's not enough gay movies out there.
Yes. And this is a more realistic story. 12 gay people who in a group.
Yeah.
Like, not
the one, token gay.
One gay person over there who catches eyes with another gay person over there. Or a straight person over there, actually. Pre-gay person over there.
Every blockbuster film currently in existence featuring the 2 gay people in New York. Right, exactly.
Exactly. But, like, that doesn't make any sense because their magnets should be attracting more gays,
Yes. Because we are out there, and we do tend to find each other, right? I think it's a legit thing. I mean, I don't know that there's a quantifiable way to measure this. This happens. This is a real thing. This is a anecdotal experience that we frequently have. I think a lot of us have.
Yeah.
And what I love about the gay magnetism, especially that a lot of us have specifically in our youth, right? Like that kind of, what we're just talking about, middle school, high school, before you've come out, that you only know in hindsight when you look back and you say, oh, hey, those were all those queers I apparently hung out with when I was 12 and we didn't even know it. I feel like it's like the precursor, right? So we just want to throw as many pre-words in here as we can in this episode. But it feels like the precursor to something else that I think a lot of us are pretty familiar with, which is gaydar, right? And I think gaydar is similar to what we've been talking about. It's just sort of that ability to recognize other gay people, right? To kind of be able to tell based on really tiny things, or sometimes on almost nothing discernible at all, that someone else is also batting for the same team.
Oh yeah. I mean, and the older we get, I think the more the sexual attraction of the gaydar comes in, right? Where you're like, okay, I need to find out if this person is gay because I want to kiss them, so this is important.
But I would argue that gaydar in and of itself doesn't necessarily have to imply an attraction. I think sometimes you can tell whether or not someone is your type, whether or not you're into them. I mean, I think it becomes more of an important thing in the dating world when you're trying to figure out, I am attracted to that person. Is there something that's, pinging my gaydar?
Yes.
But the act of being able to tell in and of itself, I don't think.
Oh yes, but I
inherently
think it is more important.
Oh yeah, well, 100%.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it goes the other way around a lot of times, though. When you're young, it's just sort of the knowledge, and when you're old, it's a lot of, like, hey, I am into that person, and then looking for the knowledge.
Yes, and then please give me some indicators.
Yeah.
Come on.
I've got my checklist out. Do you meet these? Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
I was such an asshole in college.
Pre-queer or post-queer?
Post-queer.
I mean, you could have been pre-queer too. I don't know.
No. When I first came out, it was like, I would be like, okay, well, maybe they're not gay, but they'll make out with me. So, like, what are they anyways, And it's like, in college especially, it's like, okay, girls get drunk and make out with you. Like, that doesn't really mean that much.
Yeah.
But I do think there is, like, an aspect of it that is, like I've talked about before, the intimidar.
Mm-hmm. So for anyone who hasn't heard that before, explain what that means.
So there are two sections of my gaydar, okay? One of them is just regular gaydar, like we're talking about. Like, you can just tell someone's gay. Maybe I'm not into them, but I can tell they're gay. The other one is my intimidar, okay? And this works for girls who might not be identifying as gay. They're definitely not straight, okay? But this is when you see someone and you're into them and you look at them and you, like, flirt with them and you figure things out, you can tell if they're into you, right?
Intimidar, patent pending. Ellie Brigida.
Yeah, intimidar. Sometimes this doesn't work out too well for me because, yes, they're into me. There's a lot more to sexuality than just that.
Sure.
Things get a little complicated. However, it is foolproof. My gaydar has never pinged the intimidar and not been right. That's all. That's all. I've at least made out with everyone who has pinged my intimidar. That's it.
I feel like this is when you get the most, like, bro lesbian.
I know.
These
I'm sorry.
Conversations.
I
love
when
it.
I say I used to be an asshole, I don't know if that's used to.
But it makes me so happy because it's part of what I love about you and I hosting this podcast together is that we are, like, the complete opposite on stuff like this, where you're like, oh my god, I can totally tell when girls are just, like, into me. Like, you just know. And I'm like, I am a giant awkward bubble of weirdness that just, like, never assumes anyone is ever into me. So it's great. I feel like we balance each other out. So, like, you can be a super asshole and I'll just be over here being, like, super awkward, and, like, somewhere the average meets in the middle, and it's fine. It's great.
Yeah, we're relatable to all types. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love me.
God. Relatable and hateable, right? Isn't that
Relatable and hateable, yes.
As Karen Knox would say.
Yeah. Thanks, Karen.
Thanks, Karen. We're gonna keep that around because we like it.
But I do still want to talk about the other half of gaydar.
The gaydar half, not the intimidar.
Not the
half?
intimidar.
Okay.
I pride myself on my gaydar, okay? The main reason why is because I feel like a lot of people focus on stereotypes with gaydar, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, that girl's wearing a snapback, therefore she's gay. Chances are...
Which she probably is.
Sometimes she could be, yes. However, it's far more accurate if you focus on homosexual behavioral tendencies. Because how a girl looks does not determine what her sexuality is, okay?
Yeah.
So... the things that I focus on, this is not immediate gaydar. This is like if I have hung out with this person a lot.
This is studied gaydar.
Yeah, this is deep.
This is Ellie breaking out a notebook, and she's got a little list of observations, dated, time stamped.
Mm-hmm. It's like bird watching for lesbians. So, here are the things. Number one, which is obvious for lesbians, not as obvious for bisexual girls. That's okay. But not interested in men, especially for girls who are lesbians. And this, I think, served me better in college when more people were pre-gay and less people were out. Does that make sense?
Pre-gays just make
I just really love it.
Every time. It's like when people call eggs pre-birds. I don't know why. It's just like... It just makes me happy every time we say, okay, sorry.
You have a pre-baby in your belly. That's okay.
I do. Oh, we have all the pre's. This is the pre-episode, and I love it. Okay. Okay, not interested in men.
To explain a little bit, it's because I feel like they're tendencies that I recognized in myself once I came out. So, for example, if I ever hear girls who are talking about how, I don't know, I just don't feel anything when I am with guys, or... I don't know. I just feel like I haven't found the right person yet. Like,
Yeah.
there's no spark, you know? Like, if you say any of those things to me and you're talking about the men in your life, like, we're gonna have a talk.
I'm just not really into romance.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Because I said all of those things before I came out. I was like, well, they're cute, but I don't, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just never like anyone. No, you just never liked men.
Although, to be clear, some people are asexual or aromantic. That's also a real thing. So
Yes.
we're being aware, but yes, sure. This is certainly a possible checklist on the way to you have found yourself a pre-queer.
Yes, you found yourself a pre-queer. Okay, number 2 is, which works for I think everyone on the spectrum, super close female friendships.
Yeah.
Like, if we talk about gay magnetism, there's a bunch of people you're attracted to, but then there are also those few individual people you're attracted to who you spend a little too much time with them, you have sleepovers and
Yeah.
cuddle.
You care a little too much.
Yeah, you miss them
Yeah.
horrifically when they're gone.
That bordering on jealousy kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. This all sounds very familiar, sure.
And that was very familiar to me as well. And then this is where the asshole part comes in again. I'm sorry. If they'll make out with me. So that'll do it.
Here you have it, folks. The foolproof Ellie Brigida gaydar checklist.
That's it. Or if I see them make out with other women.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
They might still make out with you then. I mean, you know, let's not close the door on our dreams, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Ellie, what should I watch now that Wynonna Earp ended?
Well, if you like Wynonna Earp, you should definitely check out Riley Parra on Tello. It's a little bit Wynonna Earp, a little bit Buffy, and a little bit Rosalia Niles, but actually gay.
Oh my god, I love the Riley Parra book, so of course I'm watching it. Plus, Tello's all about making content for lesbians, so lesbians are front and center.
And you know we are all about lesbians front and center. Ugh. And did you know they're the first lesbian network to receive an Emmy nomination, which is huge.
Such a big deal. We were so excited to buy our subscription because we know all those fees are just going to go straight into making more lesbian content, which I think is something we all want.
More lesbians. Absolutely.
And we have a special deal for our listeners. If you use the code LESHANG at checkout, you'll get 20% off your first month or your first year.
So be sure to check out Tello and subscribe to watch great shows like Riley Parra and so many others.
What we're getting at is you can tell, right? And I think this brings up something that you and I had just talked about recently, because there's a conversation that you just had that I would love if you would just, quick overview of this conversation
Okay.
with our
Yes.
listeners.
So my sister is straight, and I talk to her quite a bit about gay things. And so I was telling her about our Should Have Been Gays. And she was saying to me, okay, but you have to make sure you're not over-sexualizing female friendships because, not every female friendship has to be a lesbian relationship,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
Which is valid. However, like I said, there are certain indicators of super close female friendships That-
Yeah.
are just different.
That you just know. You just know there's something else going on there, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, to be completely fair, and I said this to you at the time, and it is 100% true. Not to worry, listeners, we will be over-sexualizing female friendships on Should Have Been Gays at one point or another.
Valid.
That is almost guaranteed that will happen just because some of them are fun, and it's hard to stay away from just because it makes us laugh or it makes us happy or we, don't shut the door on your dreams. But also, I think, the episode that just came out last week, I think Rosalia Niles is a great example of where there's just too many things. There's too many indications of things that you can tell. There's something where you kind of get past the boundaries of what is actually a friendship and into something else. And I think you can tell, I think there are things about that we pick up on that don't just have to do with even necessarily specific actions or exact things. There's just sometimes, oh, this is not just a friendship, this is a pre-queer relationship. this relationship is only pre-gay, that's all.
Yes.
You know?
And will eventually evolve to post-gay.
Yeah, because I think gaydar, I mean, you know, we're talking about it primarily in that individual interaction, you know, of seeing a person and that interaction on an individual level of recognizing something in them. But I think you can also tell with people, tell with relationships. I mean, whether, you know, as you just said, they're making out with each other, sure. But I also think, you know, like even how you and I met, I think is a great example of both sides of this, because we met a couple years ago at an a cappella festival, as we've mentioned on the podcast before. At the time, the year that we met, you were there with your girlfriend at the time.
Yes.
I was there by myself. But I think that we both had that sort of, you know, recognition of me looking at the two of you going, they don't seem like just friends.
Yep. And us looking at you and being like, look at that cute little gay. And then no, because we grabbed lunch.
Yeah.
And it was just the three of us. And we only talked about lesbian things for like an hour.
Yes. Let's go get lunch and hang out. And then immediately trying to like very obviously all come out to each other.
It's true.
Let me completely, unquestionably out myself in this conversation just to be like, I'm so gay. Are you also gay? Because I kind of feel like you're also gay.
Yes.
And then once we got that out of the way, then we proceeded to try to pick out all the pre-gays from the little high school groups that were singing.
Yes, that was so
And
fun.
they were
We were working on our
adorable.
gaydar there. Oh, full circle.
Oh, our little baby gays, they were amazing.
They were. Ugh. And yes, how we found out that they were baby gays was because they were swooning over this like
Yes.
aka lesbian.
Yes.
And
it happens.
Come on, ladies. It's okay. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about this on an anecdotal level.
Yes.
Right? Just we both know. If you're a gay person, you understand these things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have my les watching notebook the way you do, but
But still.
but I know what you mean.
Yeah. But I find it really interesting. There's actually been a lot of research done on gaydar, which is just hilarious. But there have been a number of scientific studies done to see if gaydar is a myth or not. And there's a few different ones. So one of them from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, it had silent videos of people. They had rated themselves on the Kinsey scale. Then they had the observers rate those people how they thought they ranked on the Kinsey scale. And most often, the people accurately perceived their sexuality.
So someone could tell from watching
A silent
video of someone else.
Yeah.
What were they doing in the videos? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I think like they were just talking, or I don't know. Well, imagine it's
Making out with women.
It's a silent video of they're either making out with a woman or a man, and you're like, oh, well,
Yeah, right.
I guess it's obvious. Yeah, but I don't know. I just think it's really interesting, like the different ways we perceive people just from looking at them.
Yeah.
So there's another one where they studied the gay face, which I think we've also talked about before.
Is this like resting gay face? I think I have resting gay face.
What is resting gay face?
It's like resting bitch face. I just look gay all the time.
I love it. But yes, I think they did some sort of study where there's like actually like a shape of a face that's more gay than another, which I think is sort of stupid. But in this particular study, it showed that people reliably misjudge people who don't fit into the stereotype. So people who didn't have a gay face but identified as gay. Okay.
Gay face is going to make me laugh every time.
I know.
Too.
Exactly. And it's like, what does that even mean? But either way, people who didn't have a gay face, they would judge them as not gay. And they would misjudge people who identified as gay but didn't, quote unquote, look gay.
Huh.
Which I feel like I experience a lot with people misjudging that I'm gay because I don't fit into a box of the gay face or the gay.
You think you don't have gay face?
No, I really
No?
don't.
What about when you're wearing a snapback? Does that change your face?
I like never wear a snapback, so I don't.
We have snapbacks, Ellie.
I know, I'm looking at it right now, actually. It's like, it's right above my studio monitors, my Les Hangout
Excellent.
snapback. But I don't look very good in hats, so I just don't wear them.
See, whereas I look great in hats, does that mean I have gay face?
No, I really don't think you have a gay face, actually.
Okay. So what is it that was so, unquestionably gay about me? I'm so curious now. It's the clothes.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's the vibe. I don't judge people based on how they look. If they look if they look gay, like I don't even know what that means.
Except you say that, and we have absolutely 100% at the next year's festival had conversations about someone definitely wearing gay shoes.
Okay, yes. Maybe. Oh my gosh, that outfit, the tweed suit.
You know exactly who I'm talking
sorry,
about, and
but,
you
like,
know
don't
which
wear a
shoes,
tweed
and they were
suit.
gay shoes. Okay, come on.
Okay, yeah, I never judge people on their looks. I'm sorry.
I'm just here to keep this podcast honest, everyone.
But I will
okay?
say, I talked to her, and I gauged from speaking with her that she
Yes.
was not.
Yes, correct.
All right.
But the shoes were.
But the initial impression, I said, could be. Let's investigate, you know? Okay, speaking of not judging people from how they look.
as you're about to do, does that mean you're about to do
I'm
it?
about to segue into this story that is exactly that. But still, okay. This was the year after I came out. I went to one of my friend's apartments. She went to Boston College. I went to visit. We were just hanging out. I went into her room and she had a picture on her wall of her and this other girl. And something about it, I don't know what. I just saw the picture. I got this vibe and I just pointed at the girl and I said, "Is she gay?" And my friend was like, "No, she's not gay. Ellie, you think everyone's gay." And I was like, "Okay, you know what? You're probably right." Fast forward a few months later, my friend called me and she goes, "Ellie, you will not believe what just happened. The girl in the picture just came out to me. She has a girlfriend."
Of course she does.
That was the moment that I knew, like, my gaydar was gold.
And you didn't even have a silent video. This was just a photo.
Just a photo.
That's how good you
I
are.
know. And now that girl is engaged to her girlfriend and they're going to get
Aw,
married.
yay.
All from a photo.
Yay, gay love.
It's so cute. But yes, you shouldn't judge a gay by a photo, but I did. Oh, God. Well, I also think it's really interesting. So they have also done like artificial intelligence research with photos. So they've taken photos from people's dating profiles, and 91% of men AI was correct for, and 83% of women AI was correct just by reviewing pictures of their online dating profiles, just from pictures. And this is some sort of algorithm.
So how does the AI rank against you is what I want to know.
How does it? Oh, probably I'm 100%. So. You know, you can't.
Machines can't replace Ellie just yet, you guys.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/leshangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/leshangout.
Let's hang out.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
You come to the New Yorker Radio Hour for conversations that go deeper with people you really want to hear from, whether it's Bruce Springsteen or Questlove or Olivia Rodrigo, Liz Cheney, or the godfather of artificial intelligence, Geoffrey Hinton, or some of my extraordinarily well-informed colleagues at The New Yorker. So join us every week on the New Yorker Radio Hour, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, do you like true crime? Me too. And I know what you're thinking. There's so many true crime pods out there, you've already heard all the stories. Well, what if I were to tell you you're wrong? I'm Leroy Luna, the host of Excuse Me, That's Illegal, the podcast that takes a hardcore look at softcore crime. I've got a back catalog of hundreds of bizarre and hilarious stories just waiting to be heard by you. So come join me. Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available anywhere you get your favorite podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the 10th, 20th, and 30th every month, baby!
I do think it's interesting, though. Like, I wonder what the pictures are.
Well, are they looking for gay face?
I would hope they're looking for something a little bit more nuanced.
Yeah. All I'm picturing is like a
face scanner.
No, I'm picturing some sort of like machine learning algorithm that's it's like, we have identified Birkenstocks in this photo.
Yeah, we have identified a beanie.
Right.
We have identified a gay pride flag. We have identified a picture with Ellen Page.
The other thing, and this is going to be the super nerdy side of me coming out, but I am curious when they say the percentage of cases that they were correct. I'm curious what the testing samples looked like. I mean, because the thing is, the majority of the population is straight. So how much of the sample size that they had, was it sort of an even spread of people to identify? Was it just based on like a random sampling, in which case if you are biased towards straight, you will be right a higher percentage of the time. I'm curious.
You're right. I am curious too.
I didn't read the study, so I'll take your word for it.
Look into it.
I know. We'll do more review, you guys. Don't worry.
Do more research.
But it is, I mean, and I think we've talked about this once on the podcast before, right? That they are sort of doing research into this, of being able to identify orientation from photos and stuff for when the robots come for us all, I think.
Yeah, which is a little bit terrifying.
It is in some ways.
I mean, we've mostly been talking about lesbians here because we are lesbians. But I also think it's interesting, a lot of these scientific studies skew heavily towards gay men. So there was a UCLA study that found that they were able to accurately guess the sexual orientation of men 60% of the time, which isn't really a high percentage. But with women, their guesses, they didn't even include the percentage. It was so low.
Huh.
So I find it sort of interesting because I don't think gay men fit more into stereotypes, but I feel as though the stereotype that has been portrayed in the mainstream media, if you were to ask someone what they think a lesbian looks and acts like, is so far from the lesbians that we encounter in real life.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense to me, that people would be more wrong with women.
Well, and also because I think we're represented less still. I mean, I think most of the time, like year to year, I think there is still less lesbian representation than gay male representation.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of across media, I think.
Yeah, which gives us a smaller sample size of
what people see,
what people think. Yeah, what people think we look like.
Sure.
I just thought that one in particular was really interesting to me.
No, it is. I mean, and because I think obviously we'll joke about Birkenstocks and we'll joke about snapbacks, but I think it's something that came up in our last episode that most people, when you ask, what do you look for in gaydar, and I asked you this, I think, on the Q&A, and one of my options that I gave was just the Force,
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's just something that it's sort of an unmeasurable, unquantifiable, hard to explain thing of what you look for. We're talking the Force, pre-midichlorians having been invented. We're talking the
Nerd
old
alert.
school Force. Well, hey, old school Force. Back when it was just a feeling.
Oh, it's almost like love.
Aww.
Oh,
Because we do love us some gays. I mean,
Yeah.
it's true.
But like, if you were gonna try to explain love to someone, it's like, well, it's just you just feel it,
You just know.
Yeah,
You
just
know when it's right.
Yeah, you know when it's right. You know when they're gay. You know when they're pre-gay.
Oh, pre-queers. So true.
Does this bring us into our Q and Gay?
Is it time for Q and Gay? I'm so excited.
It is. Q and Gay, here we go.
Q and gay.
I came up with the Q and Gays this week. For those of you who are just joining us, the Q and Gay is a segment where we ask questions to each other, and we're going to have them on Twitter as well for you to answer. So here we go.
Hit me.
Do you have any friends who you were friends with when you were pre-gay that are now gay?
Oh, yes. Very much so.
Yep. Has a friend ever come out to you?
Yes. I'm trying to remember who came out to who first, but I'm going to say yes.
Do you think you have a gay face?
Well, apparently I don't. I don't know that I've ever looked.
Like, do you want to have a gay face? I'm just curious.
I think
it seems like
I
you're
kind of
sad.
do. I might be. I don't know. Now I feel like I'm less gay, maybe. Am I less gay if I don't have gay face?
No.
Okay.
The whole point is that your appearance doesn't matter. You're very gay, okay?
I mean, I have 12-year-old boy face. Does that count as gay face?
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
All right. Have you ever been able to tell if someone was gay from just a picture?
Yes? I don't know that I've ever gotten complete confirmation on that, but yes.
Okay. Do you think you could beat an artificial intelligence algorithm with your gaydar?
Yes. Come on.
Of course.
Machine's got nothing on us.
All right. Last one. How do you show another gay that you're gay? A, your clothes. B, the Force. C, lesbian smile. Or D, kiss her.
I'm gonna say the Force, although the real answer is I just talk about how gay I am a lot.
Yes, valid.
I mean, I'm gonna say the Force as covering, like, I talk about obvious gay things and assume they will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think you exude the Force.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I just put it into the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. For
Yeah.
sure. All right, that concludes our Q and Gay. But remember, you can give us your own answers to this episode's Q and Gay questions on our Twitter at Les Hangout Pod.
And remember, you can also find us on Instagram and on Facebook at Let's Hang Out Pod.
And you can email us at leshangoutpod@gmail.com. I know there are a lot of things we talked about in this episode. Please send us an email. Talk about your pre-gay experiences. We want to hear them all.
We definitely want to hear them all. You can also check us out at our website. You can stream our episodes at our website at letshangoutpod.com.
And if you like what you hear, please rate and review us on iTunes. It really helps us know what you're thinking and help other people find the podcast.
If you're looking for other ways that you can help support the podcast, we also launched our Patreon. We have already hit our first goal on our
baby!
Patreon, which is super exciting, and we cannot stop thanking all of our patrons. We have some really exciting rewards that you can check out there. We are gearing up for our first Les Essentials viewing party that we're super excited about. That's another way that you can help us out and help us continue to bring you more content. Remember, if you want to follow us individually, the best place to find me is on Twitter at LSHFoster.
And the best place to find me is on Instagram at LEBofficial_. I just did an Instagram rebrand, people. And I just want to say, I try to be LEBofficial without the underscore. And LEBofficial is a tiny white dog.
Oh, no.
So honestly, please follow both LEBofficial regular and LEBofficial_. We are going to make that tiny little white dog so famous.
Would the real LEB please stand up and beg for treats?
Like dying.
Oh, with that, you guys, I'm Lee.
And I'm Ellie.
And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out Real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.